and welcome to our Torah outreach program, Erev Shabbos, Burst of Inspiration. This week, it's called Parshas Zachor, the Parsha of remembering. Remembering what? Remember what Amalek did to us when we first left Egypt. The entire world was cowering. Everybody had heard about the 10 plagues in Egypt and the splitting of the Red Sea. No one wanted to go near the Jewish people. They were afraid. Comes along this tribe called Amalek and fought with the Jewish people. Although they lost, they showed the rest of the world, they're only human. You can fight them. You don't have to be afraid. And therefore we're told they have such an animosity towards us and such an evil that we can never forget what they did to us. And eventually, they have to be destroyed completely. Why, though? What do they have against us? Why did they attack? It's possible because of what it said in the verse about their attack. It says, Asher karcha b'derech, that they happened upon you in the way. The rabbis explain this term, happened upon you. It's a very strange term. That this is their life philosophy. Their life philosophy is, yes, we believe God created the world, and then left the world to happenstance, coincidence, luck of the draw. Nothing has real meaning to it about when it happens. And therefore, the rest of the world is cowering because of everything that happened, that the Jewish people did, and everything that God did for the Jewish people, and the destruction of Egypt. But Amalek, they said, it's all coincidence, nothing to worry about. And therefore they attacked. And the reason they attacked is because their philosophy is so against ours, against the philosophy of the Torah, which is nothing happens for nothing. Everything has a reason for it. It's all divine providence. This goes into the Purim story also. Haman, who was a descendant of this evil nation, Amalek, he wanted to kill out the Jewish people. How did he decide to kill them? He made a lottery. Why a lottery? To show that when he destroys the Jewish people, he wants to destroy them in a way that is counter their philosophy. I'm going to do it through a lottery, luck of the draw, to show the world that their way of thinking, that nothing happens for nothing, is not true. It's all luck of the draw. And what happened on the exact day that he pulled in that lottery? His people were destroyed and ours were saved. Funny thing is, the holiday is named after that lottery. The word poor is the ancient Persian word for lottery. And we show with this holiday that even a lottery is divine intervention. Nothing is luck of the draw. So the lesson of Parshas Zachor, the lesson of Purim, is nothing happens for nothing. Everything, if we look closely at the Purim story, even though God's name is not mentioned, and you can read the Purim story and follow it like a newspaper, just political intrigue, you don't have to see God unless you look closely and you realize it's God's hand that's moving those chess pieces. But there's another lesson of Purim, and that is what Haman pointed out. When Achashverosh was afraid to authorize him to kill out the Jewish people, he convinced Achashverosh by saying, Yesham mefuzar umefarad bein amim. They are a nation that are disjointed. They're not getting along. They don't work together, and their God is only good to them when they work together. He was right. He was right. What did Esther say to Mordecai when Mordecai told her to go and petition the king? She said, it's not going to work unless first we fix a few things. Lech knos haYehudim. Go and gather the Jews. Get them together in the synagogues. Make them put away their personal differences. Work together. Pray together. Get along. And then we can conquer Haman and we can save the Jewish people. We continue this theme. This is the only holiday that there's a peculiar mitzvah that we give out gifts of prepared food to one another. Why? Everybody knows the way to make friends is to sit down and eat together. Every time you meet with somebody, it always has something to do with food. We go out for breakfast, go out for lunch, go out for lunch, go out for brunch, go out for dinner. Run out of food groups, let's go out for coffee. It's always food. Why? Human nature. People bond around food. And the purpose of Purim is to be marbe shalom v'reis. Increase feelings of friendship and love between people. So we give out gifts of food to each other. So the two lessons. One, nothing happens for nothing. Everything is orchestrated by Hashem. And two, we are as strong as we are united, but we are as weak as we are divided. How can we apply this to right now? Think about it. What led up to October 7th? Years of division, years of fighting within the state of Israel, right against left, pro-judicial reform, anti-judicial reform, religious, not religious. Everybody was at each other's throats. After several warnings, after several terrible things happened, including Corona, including a stampede on Lag BaOmer, and horrible tragedies. Finally, we weren't listening, and Hashem had to do something or allow something to happen, which was the worst tragedy since the Holocaust. And that was October 7th. And what happened right afterwards? A lot of this fighting evaporated. People were too busy fighting the enemy than fighting each other. Pictures of somebody who was in charge of an organization that was anti-judicial reform wearing a green uniform, together with somebody who was pro-judicial reform, also wearing a green uniform, hugging each other and smiling, where 3 days before that they would have been tearing each other's eyeballs out. Nothing happens for nothing. And we are as strong as we are united, and as weak as we are divided. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu was telling us, and I think we're starting to listen, that we need to work together. Good Shabbos, and have a very happy Purim.